Yeah, thank you so much, Chair. I don't think I will be long, Chair. DM, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
There is a contestation of terms before this committee. When the first witness appeared, General Ndlandla Mkhwanazi, on the PKTT name, he gave us the name PKTT. And the next witness that followed after him, the suspended Minister of Police, came with a different name, which is the NPKTT. Now, in your statement, you are saying it's the PKTT. Now, the confirmation that I need is, have you just written hypothetically, or you have written the name with a full understanding that this is the actual name that was agreed upon?
Thank you very much. Actually, if you go to the minutes of the 5th, where General Khumalo was presenting the issue of the, we all along we were talking about the PKTT. So then I saw the NPKTT coming in. I'm not sure, maybe as you're saying, it might be semantics, but all along, when we discuss, is PKTT, so it might be, or it might have come when we're discussing the organizational structure. Remember, we were saying that we must start defining murder as murder, whether it's murdered by political or, but murder is murder. Maybe it should be in the murder and robbery unit. So, and it should be national. You can't have this political killing like it's happening in one province. It is happening in all the provinces. So you might want to have a national structure that coordinate the provincial structures that are there. So I thought they were trying to distinguish between the two.
Okay, so to the best of your knowledge, the actual name that was espoused is the PKTT.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the SC, I was tempted to ask a follow-up question, but I said, no, let me reserve it for my time. Had asked you about a meeting that you held in which a report about the PKTT was given. Subsequently, I asked you about the impression that you got from that meeting, and then you said, because you believe that it's an intelligence matter, so you reserve your comments. But I think the question was actually in relation to the impression in the context of the performance of the PKTT, that in your view, did you get an impression that the PKTT is functional, or it's just a ceremonial structure which is no longer effective? So along those lines, which impression did you get?
Thank you for clarifying the matter. As I said, I did not know much about the PKTT. In that report that was presented on the 5th of March, the successes, why it was formed, the successes that were there, the challenges of the misinformation and all other things were put there. And where I am, I'm not able to go out really and check whether it's right or wrong.
Yeah, but the impression that you got at that time, what impression did you get in relation to its functionality?
If I looked at the report that was in front of me, I think they were doing a great job.
Okay. You know, when you get into a normal workplace, as a human being, it's easy to detect when there's a toxic environment or when there's factionalism. You detect through the language and the mood that no, this one is in good terms with that one. These ones are not in speaking terms. Now, what overall assessment you can make about factionalism in SAPS? according to you received a message from Sibia, which was forwarded to you, and he says to you, there is this procurement of spy equipment, you must be careful and so on. And at a later stage, you realize that this was concocted because an investigation thereafter was made, which actually proved that there was no such. Now, out of all these happenings, what is your final determination? What is your final observation? Is there any deep-seated factionalism in SAPS? Or is there any toxic environment? And if there's any, is it among certain individuals at the top brass, or is general, it affects the whole institution, the whole organization?
Thank you very much. I think firstly, you are right. As a leader, you are able to get into an organization and see that there is a problem. And I think I responded when the SC asked me, I just did not remember the number, where I said we met, the four of us, the two deputy ministers, the national commissioner, and the minister, and said, we can see there's a problem between the two of you. Can you please fix this issue? Because it's affecting us also. And we said, we have also realized that you, the national commissioner, you are not in good terms with DNC Sibia, and there's also issues between Sibia and Lieutenant Kwanas. Can you please meet with them and make sure that they find each other so that we can be able to work better and move forward? Because we didn't want to choose, whether, like you say, which faction you want to be in or what, because we wanted a SAPS that was working. And indeed, they did that. And unfortunately, like I said, when you heard him on the 6th of is it July, when he said, yes, the meeting was there, but I don't work with criminals, whatever it is. But we did that, and we asked even the minister and the national commissioner that when you work together, at least once a week have a meeting, not necessarily write letters to each other. When we reach a letters level, it means there's no level of trust and respect, and then that would be a problem. In terms of the toxic environment and what, it was like just in any normal working relationship, like we also have here in Parliament with the opposition, when we shout each other there, not necessarily that we hate each other, it's just that maybe we differ on something that needs to be there. But I think, according to me, it might not be true. It might be one to be briefed. Is that the South African Police Services, from 1994, it was not transformed as it should have been transformed, such that you still have the old order and the new order that is trying to coexist. And as a result, there will be that friction. And that is why I said in my conclusion that I hope this committee is going to assist us to be able to pass that hurdle so that we have the SAPS that we want, that will serve the people of South Africa and protect the sovereignty of our country. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Notwithstanding what General Nhlanhla Mkhwana said on the 6th in relation to his meeting with General Sibia and others, but in terms of your observation, was there any paradigm shift after that meeting? Did you experience any change? When people are mediating each other, when they come out of that mediation, you can tell from a distance that there is now a paradigm shift. Did you experience any paradigm shift?
Thank you, sir. Yes, we did, like the minister and the national commissioner, when we were doing the safety festive operations, the minister was paired with the national commissioner, and they were doing KwaZulu-Natal, Western Cape, and Eastern Cape. So they were working together. And I was given the acting deputy national commissioner, and then Dear Matalu was also given the national deputy commissioner. So we worked together until like the 31st letter and until the 6th August when this thing came. But all along, I thought we were working together. And I must say to you, in terms of the deputy minister, I worked with all of them, including General Mukwanas. I went there in Ulundi, I think it was last year or the beginning of this year, when there was a pass-out parade. I went with Lieutenant General Libya, who was the head of the Hawks, and went there for the pass-out, and we had the best pass-out that we could ever have. And then we went also there to launch the National Safety Festive in KwaZulu-Natal, and we had a very good and from time to time when we meet with Lieutenant General Mkwanasi, we talk like colleagues.
Okay, no, thank you, TM. On paragraph 27, page 11, and paragraph 33, page 12, you are saying, in summary, I'm not going to quote you verbatim, but you are saying that you think the decision of the 31st could have been handled better.
Yes,
I think,
sir.
Yes, and I think on page 27, you are saying that in your view, the minister should have at least consulted stakeholders. And so the impression that I get from that is that your only concern about the decision is a lack of consultation. So in your view, the minister, that is my own observation from what you are saying, you can correct me. In your view, the minister had a right or a constitutional right to take a decision. But his decision was, was short of a widespread or comprehensive consultation. That is the area of concern in terms of your own observation. Is that correct? So it means, to elaborate, so it means, according to you, had the minister consulted, then the decision was going to be correct.
I don't think you understand me correctly, or maybe it's because it's a short letter. In terms of the consultations that I'm talking about even consulting the operatives, and then people who are in charge of managing the PKTT, the provincial commissioners, the national commissioner, everybody who was involved in terms of that. And surely they would prepare reports and be able to also give recommendations to say, at this stage where we are, we think we cannot be able to do this, and this might be the best way to deal with the matter, and then give an alternative on what to do. So that's my understanding. It's just that I didn't just want to write a big thesis.
Okay, no, it's fine. Now, Minister Mchunu sits with you for 12 months. He doesn't give you a performance plan. After him, Minister Kachalia comes in. And then you raise a concern to him that, Minister, there is no delegated function to us. And then with ease, he gives you a task. You said he has given you a task to go to Northwest, if I heard you correctly.
No, to deal with the GBVF, the whole of it, and also to deal with the integrated crime violence prevention strategy.
Now, would you describe Mr. Mchunu as a person who believes in collectivism, as a cordial person, and as a rational person who takes into account his colleagues when he works with them, who doesn't work alone, who's not aloof to his subordinates or to his colleagues? Because Kachalia comes in, he doesn't spend much time in office. You raise a concern, with ease, he gives you a function. And then minister has been with you for 12 months, he doesn't delegate functions to you. So what is your observation about Minister Mchunu?
Leaders don't lead the same. and then they don't see the matters the same. So here, I see a different leadership styles between the two. That will be all I want to say.
Yeah, but remember, this is an operational issue. And the standard operating procedure here is that for you to be able to execute your functions properly, there must be a performance plan. Whether you are weak as a leader or you are strong, it's a standard operating procedure to which you must adhere. It doesn't depend on your moods. It's a standard which has been put there. And if you do not meet that standard, it means there's something wrong with your leadership.
That's what I'm saying. I can't comment. Maybe you can ask him the reason why he did not do that. But I would not be able to. But for me, I attribute it to different leadership styles.
Yeah, but you found it ironic that after 12 months in office, you don't get a performance plan. To you, was it an ordinary or it's a normal thing or it's an ironic thing which must never be encouraged?
We tried to raise, I tried to raise it at some point, and it was coming, I thought, yes, I agree with you, it must not. It's
Okay,
not.
then the last question, second last, the chair will kick me out, I know, when I'm running out of time. The second last question, you are correctly saying, yeah, that as a deputy minister, you are accountable to Parliament. Now, you are not given this performance plan by the minister. You go to Parliament, and you are not raising this in Parliament as a concern, because had you raised it in Parliament, Parliament was going to use its oversight responsibility to say, Minister, this is undesirable. Give these people their task so that your department will be efficient. Now, you don't raise that in Parliament. Why didn't you raise it as a concern, either in the Portfolio Committee or in the National Assembly?
I think there are processes where this kind of issues can be raised as consent. And I think just raising it in the Portfolio Committee would not have been the correct one. Like I said, we tried to raise it with him. Maybe if he was given a little bit longer, we would have that one. So what we were able to do, the three of us, and chair of the Portfolio Committee, Shirley is here, and members are here, we have never, in any day, shied away from going to the Portfolio Committees or in the National Assembly to do the debates, in the NCOP to do what we should do. Because the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee also understood that our portfolio, unfortunately, is on Wednesday, and Wednesdays are normally cabinet days. So we're able to do that as deputy minister. So yes, we raised the issue, but I don't think it has reached a stage where we had to go to the committee and start saying, but the minister is not doing that. I don't think it has reached that level.
Thank you very much. I'm giving my 2 minutes, my outstanding 2 minutes to you. You can say whatever you want to say to the committee.